Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Did you hear what I said?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? Yeah, I thought I was thinking of something right after the show's over. So I looked it up and I thought, hey, why don't we throw that out as an idea? Maybe it's already been thrown out there by other people. Who the hell knows? But I'm going to do it. Plus, I got to keep the trolls busy. Oh, Gray's on again, everybody. Hurry up, run over there. Hurry up and watch. Let's catch him, Silas. Let's record something. All right, well, check it out. I asked, when I got off the show, I was wondering, I was kind of started to wonder about the tumbling effect of a bullet, So then I went and looked up, can old Mauser Model 98 30-06 bullets yaw more than newer rifles? And it said, whether an old Mauser Model 98 30-06 yaws more, that means like the bullet in the air is not stable. It's, kind of rotating around. Hey, thanks, Cheryl. Whether an old Mauser Model 98 in 30-06 yaws more than a newer rifle depends on the condition of the Mauser barrel, not its age or basic design. The Mauser 98 action is fundamentally robust and capable of high accuracy, but a century of use or poor maintenance can introduce wear that causes bullets to wobble in flight. So, this is an older gun, right? I mean, it was given to, like, the grandfather, gave it to, it's been around for a long time, right? Yeah, how barrel condition affects the yaw. Barrel wear. Over time, the internal lands and grooves of a rifle barrel can wear down, particularly near the chamber, a process known as throat erosion. An old, worn barrel will not impart a consistent, tight spin on the bullet, leading to poor gyroscopic stability and increased yaw. So there you go. I mean, I bet you anything that's exactly what this is. I think Tyler Robinson fired the shot and the bullet was not stable in the air and was hit him. That's why it looks the way it looks. It goes in kind of sideways into his neck, making kind of a hole. And then because it wasn't stable, the bullet did not penetrate the back. It's sort of like there was a lot of resistance on it because of that, and then it sort of hit the bone in there and it just stayed in his neck. I bet you that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I know. We know it's called keyholing. Yeah, we already went over that earlier. Anyways, the muzzle crown is but I mean, people thought it was keyholing because it deflected off of something. I think it was like that the flight of it. I'm not a gun expert or anything, but, I have common sense, so I'm just reading this. No, it doesn't keyhole before it enters. It creates the keyhole as it's entering. Now, when you say keyholes, I mean, it's sideways before it enters, right? Yeah. I'm saying it yawed in the air. It was tumbling almost, right? Like it had the speed, but it just hit him in the neck kind of at a sideways, and it didn't go through. So, and then I think that's why it got stuck in the bone there. Doesn't that make the most sense? That's why there's no exit wound. We watched that little bit of that video earlier that guy put out, and the bullets, when they were in the keyhole, you know, yaw rotation going through, they didn't make it through the dummy. Isn't that wild? Yeah, so then it says after decades of use and cleaning, an older barrel can have an oversized or inconsistent bore diameter. If the bullet does not create a tight seal, gas can escape past it, resulting in poor or uneven spin. So, you know, it's same thing like with a rocket. You know, it goes in the air and it's not, you know, the gyros aren't working. It just goes, starts flipping over and crashes. Yeah, it does make sense, Mr. Coffee. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you might not want it to make sense, but yeah. Beyond the rifle condition, other variables also affect a bullet's yaw, including bullet stability. The bullet's length to diameter, ratio, weight, and aerodynamic profile all impact its stability. Modern bullets designs often offer superior aerodynamics and consistency compared to the military ammunition the Mauser was originally designed to shoot. Rifling twist rate. The rate at which the rifling twist is crucial for properly stabilizing a bullet. Modern rifles typically use faster twist rates to better stabilize longer, heavier, and more aerodynamically efficient bullets. If an older Mauser has a slower twist rate, it may not adequately stabilize some modern high-tech bullets. I mean, that just totally makes sense, reading that. Modern manufacturing techniques produce barrels with extremely consistent bores and crowns. In contrast, even a new in-the-box Mauser from a century ago would have had a broader manufacturing tolerances. A century later, wear only adds to those potential inconsistencies. So it sounds like, you know, if you were going to have a bullet do the yaw and, you know, sort of rotating in the air, this will be a perfect candidate for it. It's sort of like the 25 caliber pistol, the ones that barely fit into your hands. Those things misfire almost like, I mean, all day long, you know. So is there something to the fact that he's using this older model Mauser? I mean, we don't know if it was cleaned, you know, all these things that they're talking about. It just kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's sort of, you know, now that we see some, you know, like especially what was written by the Turning Point guy. We'll read that here in a minute. Modern manufacturing techniques produce barrels with extremely consistent bores and crowns. In contrast, even a new in-the-box Mauser from a century ago would have broader manufacturing tolerances. See, that means it's not as tight. A century later, wear only adds to those potential inconsistencies. See? I think that's really interesting. A Mauser Model 98 in good condition with an unworn barrel is fully capable of shooting accurately with minimal yaw, especially when using properly sized ammunition. However, a Mauser that has seen a lot of use is highly likely to have a worn barrel and crown, which will result in far more bullet yaw and much worse accuracy than a well-maintained modern rifle. I mean, this just seems like this is it. This is the answer to the questions here. It just, you know, and when it hit his neck, it was like boom, because it had, you know, it came in sideways. So it had a lot more impact, sort of, you know, shockwave on that portion. But the bullet itself, because it wasn't tight, it had way more resistance and caused more, I mean, I don't know if that's what might cause more shockwave, right? It's sort of like if you took your finger and you poked somebody, or if you slapped the person, it would be a hell of a lot more impact, right? But then it couldn't make it out because it was at a sideways. And it hit the bone, so it just stopped right there. I mean, Doesn't that make sense? I know I'm not a gun expert or anything like that, but kind of makes sense. Well, that's what this one is, though, Buster. I don't know. And then this one right here came from Turning Point. We just read this earlier. I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize, this is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, I think the doctor said that, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. Hey, thanks so much, Alex. Very kind. Thank you so much. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin, probably maybe on the other side or something. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. So doesn't that explain that then? I mean, I think that explains why it didn't make it all the way through. So it comes in at a slight angle, so it does hit the bone in his neck, but it's sideways. So it kind of goes in and it's like slapping. There's way more resistance after the impact, and it didn't make it through because of that. What do you guys think? I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. It isn't some guy shooting under his armpit. Okay? I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. I just looked it up for the hell of it, and it just seemed like it went through, and that weapon specifically, you know, had a lot of more tolerances, so it wasn't tight for a specific type of round, and maybe it wasn't, you know, I bet you this type of weapon has a much more likely sort of yaw rate, or whatever you want to call it, where it's rotating in the air, where it does the keyholing effect, than like newer rifles. What do you mean, is there a specific link? Hey, don't ask Ellie something. All right, they want you to go look up some crazy conspiracy theory. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. All right, don't do it. They always come in and they go, oh, you got to see this one guy, man. He has these dots and he's got the... All right. Jeez, I know. I can't stand when people ask the conspiracy theory to send them a link. It's like, Jesus. Shooting under his armpit. Remember that? You know the guy that they have him going like... It's just... It's almost idiotic. I just can't believe it. You know? They got this guy kind of going like... You know, out the side over here. Give me a break. Oh, I mean, was he using a mirror to look at the angle? Yeah, let's see what Chat GPT says. Yeah, we haven't tried that one yet. I'll ask the same question. Can a is a Mauser model 98 more likely to yaw than a newer rifle? I don't know. Maybe it'll be different. That was Google. Oh. Well, it says isn't inherently more likely. But I guess if it's old, though, right? I mean, that's the whole point. You know, I guess what we're reading this one here, it's talking about like over 100, you know, like I'd have to type in here if it's old, you know. They're saying inherently, like if it was brand new out of the box. Does anybody think that his is brand new out of the box? Oh, wait, what happened? Did I remove that one? Ah, shit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to ask it. His gun wasn't. His gun wasn't what? I think it's funny. I mean, you guys type in sentences, you know? I need to know what you're saying so I can... it was verified, imported from the 50s. Oh, okay. So it was imported from the 50s, and how old was it? Well, how do you know it doesn't look 100? I don't know. Well, it's not 100 years old regardless, right? It'd be like 80. Okay, right. But you got to say what there's a lot of questions that I ask. So you got to put the question in the answer, I'm Oni. You know? So, when you're answering, I don't know what the hell you're answering for. You always do that, I'm Oni. Like, you're just on top of everything. And I might ask 3 or 4 questions, and somebody goes, yes. And then I go, what's yes for? Well, Gray, you asked, you always do that. It's just, it's ridiculous. No, but it doesn't look 100 years. Who cares if it doesn't look 100 years old? My mom used to have these shitty wooden golf clubs, and I'd shine them up all the time because I liked the look of it. Yeah, but these do, Bedval. I just read it to you. I'll read it to you again. You obviously missed it. Right here it says, whether an old Mauser Model 98 30-06 yaws more than a newer rifle depends on the condition of the Mauser barrel, not its age or basic design, right? So if it's used a lot and not, the wear and tear would absolutely affect it. The Mauser 98 action is fundamentally robust and capable of high accuracy, but a century of use or poor maintenance can introduce wear and cause bullets to yaw, wobble in flight. Over time, the internal lands and grooves of a rifle barrel can wear down, particularly near the chamber, a process known as throat erosion. An old worn barrel will not impart a consistent tight spin on the bullet, leading to poor gyroscopic stability and increased yaw. There you go. I mean, that's just it. That's the answer to this whole thing. It's probably a poorly maintained rifle, even if it was, they cleaned it and whatnot. It's old. You got a lot of use out of it. And so I bet you if you shoot, let's say you shoot 100 bullets, maybe, I don't know what the number is, but maybe 15 of them yaw. Something like that. I mean, we just saw that video earlier that somebody sent me where the guy shot a bunch of bullets and many of them spun. And I guess it also depend on what kind of bullets he was using, etc. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to use common sense here. This seems like, and I was thinking in my mind after the show was over, like, man, that's an old gun. And then we just saw that video where the bullets are yawing. What about this one? How often does this do that? And it sounds like if it's not maintained, this thing probably rotates. These bullets aren't stable at all when they're fired out of this thing. So I think that this is likely going to be the answer here. Makes the most sense out of every single thing, doesn't it, you guys? It didn't deflect off of something. It literally just was rotating in the air and went through. Let's see. The one and only Gray. This is Daniel from Israel again. You are doing a wonderful job. I see a lot of crazy people blaming the Jews for Charlie's terrible murder. Like the crazy, yeah.
People blaming the Jews for Charlie's terrible murder, like crazy Andersons.
Yeah, well, you probably missed my other last 2 nights, Daniel. I mean, I think Candace Owens has been an absolute embarrassment and has embarrassed her name, her legacy, everything. Yeah, she's just absolutely been embarrassing, And she's been that way for a long time, but more recently, trying to blame Israel for, some sort of, hey, let's call, hey, Netanyahu, what should we do? Hey, Mossad, get hold of this guy named Tyler Robinson. Boy, he's a weirdo, man. And it's stupid. It's ridiculous. And, to be honest with you, Megyn Kelly isn't quite as bad, but Tucker, Megyn, and Candace are a little weird sometimes. They've got these kind of strange conspiracy shit. Maybe it's based on some experience, but I think they overread things, and they get paranoid about it. It's really weird. Yeah, Tucker's always been really strange, Even when he was on Fox News, I never really I liked him about 50% of the time, but most of the time I just go, "Jeez, man, you're kind of weird, Tucker." I don't know. I would imagine somebody like Charlie would be like sort of hesitant to be friends with people like really give them big platforms. I know he had, Tucker and him are friends or whatever. I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is. But Candace Owens is an embarrassment. All right. But anyways, what do you guys think of this? Doesn't this make sense right here? I mean, there's probably other people that have already talked about this, but when you just look at it and you say, wow, other factors affecting bullet yaw beyond the rifle condition, other variables also affect it. The bullet's length to diameter ratio, weight. So like if you're not using exactly the right size, I mean, I'm sure it looked like there's about 10 different bullets that you can put in these things. And maybe certain ones are more prone to yawing than other ones, right? So what was the type of ammunition that he fired? What was the bullet type? I think that's going to be important. We just watched the whole video, Trex32, so why don't you go look it up yourself? Educate yourself a little bit. Hey, look at that. It's Daniel. Sorry I missed it.
Sorry I missed it. I was in the army. I'm so happy there are normal smart people LIKEU. Flex twice 7 emoji.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry you guys, I don't know if you know that lady. There's a lady out there that imitated Kamala Harris during the election. She had an amazing video on Candace Owens. She actually felt compelled. She's just a funny person, but literally, I think she's Jewish, and she had to come forward and make a video because it's dangerous. If you listen to Candace Owens, it's sort of like how Hitler was towards the Jews before, like leading up to what happened in Nazi Germany. She talks about them like, oh, they're the cause of all the ills and the problems, and it's ridiculous. It's insane. Let's see. Why is there a tunnel under where Charlie was shot? I don't know. Who cares? You think they built the tunnel so that he could be there and somebody could shoot him? See, you just got to look at stuff. Yeah, we've seen it, you guys. You go to the... Man, I tell you what, man. It's just... Why was... Hey, let me ask you something. Hey, you're out there, aren't you? Listen, let me ask you something. Why was Charlie holding the mic with his left hand? Can you answer that for me, man? Why was he doing that? Who cares? Anyways, there's a if you look down here on the ground, there's this. Here, let me just prove how idiotic it is right here. Watch. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to keep going back in time. Oh, shit. We got to keep going. Hold on a second. This is how dumb this is. Well, oh, look at this. So, in 2013, they built this tunnel here, knowing that the up-and-coming star, Charlie Kirk, was going to be going to this campus in 12 years. knowing that he's going to sit right there and some weirdo is going to come up that tunnel and... All right? So doesn't that disprove the tunnel theory right now? It's right there, for God's sakes. All right. Yeah, so look at 2013, they had this tunnel sitting there, everybody. They must have known that he was going to be there in 12 years from then. In fact, we can go back even further. Here's 2010, for God's sakes. Let's see. Is there one back when it's black and white? Oh, hell, this has been there since 97. Geez. Woo. He wasn't even born yet and they built that tunnel. They knew that his parents were going to... Okay. Right. So does that change your theory on that? The tunnel theory? All these crazy people, they could have just taken 3 minutes of time and shown you exactly that right there. Okay? It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And you know why I knew I could go back on the satellite and see it there? Because it's a ludicrous theory, and I just knew, oh, watch. Let's see, NATO bro, there was 4 bullets only, 1 shot, the other... Yeah, and the thing is there was a fired bullet in the gun. And you know what? The bullet they retrieve is going to match the shell casing that was found inside the gun. And it has the writing on it. The same writing that Tyler Robinson mentioned when he was talking to his boyfriend. Isn't that amazing? Hey, it's easy though, Johnson. Kate, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but it's easy though, Johnson. I mean, it's like you just... you know, stuff is simple. Is that water right there? Is there a little, like a pool of some sort? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a little waterfall there. Huh. Interesting. Maybe it was a frogman jumped up. There was a guy. Hey, how do we know there was... Gray. Is it possible there was a guy scuba diving in that little pond there and jumped up and shot and then dove back in? Is it possible, Gray? Well, I have to say that there is a chance. It's 1 in 16 trillion. So you're saying there's a chance. I'm going with it. No, I haven't seen the forensics, Frank. How do you know that? That it will be matched, that is. I'm just telling you, it's going to match. Hey, Frank, it's going to match, all right? That's why I'm telling you that. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm a paid operative by the FBI, CIA, NSA, the security guard at the Ritz Hotel. I'm a paid narrative spiller. So I'm telling you right now that the bullet's going to match because it's just that is the outcome. We already know what the outcome is going to be because that's the official narrative that I'm paid to sell you. All right? So, in some time in the future here, they're going to let us know that the bullet matches. And it's not because it does, it's just because I'm spreading the narrative and I get paychecks. God, geez, John, you actually believe that? Man, there's a lot of dumb people in here. Why are you shilling for Big Rifle? Yeah, we'll see you soon from Candace. I gave her a lot of videos and information. Of what? What, Andrew? What is it? What has she got? Andrew, what has she got, man? What did you give her? You're crazy, John. You think if I was a government informant, I'd be in here saying that? It's an ongoing joke. Every case that I cover, because I cover it accurately and follow along with the facts of the case, people say that I'm a government operative and that I'm a shill for the government. And I get paid to sell a narrative. It's insane. You guys are literally insane people. I just use the factual elements of cases and I go through it. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll say something. Right? This case makes sense. It's crazy. Isn't that weird that somebody even believed that for a second? You think somebody that's a paid operative, I don't even think they exist, that would, go out and sell a narrative. But let's say they did. They're going to get on a YouTube channel and tell everybody? It's a running joke in here, fool. My God. Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. I'm just saying, man, come on. You're the one that asked me if it was for knowing he may do this. Yeah, I think the conspiracy in the case is in the chat room, the Discord chat. All right. Okay, so Andrew, what do we got? What do you got? What do you got, Andrew? Explain some of what you got. I got from FOIA for the week leading to the 10th. Well, what would there be in the FOIA request leading up to the 10th? Give us a hint. What is it? Send it to me, Andrew. Let me see what I could do with it. I mean, what kind of a FOIA? There's nothing happening regarding the case in the week leading up to the 10th. I did. It's in his pants. Oh, yeah? Send it to me, Andrew. Let me see. Send me one of them. Let me see what you got. I don't think there's any chance in hell that you got city camera FOIA requests that quick. That shit takes a while, man. Hey, thanks, Mushy Mystic. Oh, well, send it to me too, Andrew. Let me see him. I mean, it's so interesting. Let me see him too. I bet you I could do better with it than she could. Go ahead and send it over. Well, I'll be looking for it. Yeah. Yeah, send them on over. I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you full credit for it, Andrew. If it's something real, let me take a look. I'm better at looking at that stuff than she is. I can tell you that right now. I think it'd be interesting if you really got something. So here's my email, Andrew, right here. Check it out. All right, see that? There you go. All right, I'll be looking forward to seeing it. Okay, well, I'll still give you credit anyways. I mean, hey, that's just what I do if somebody sends me something. That might not be necessary, but so you got my email right there? Let me take a look. It's not, no, I think it's the bullet was rotating in the air. And by the way, thank you up there to Nate Campbell. Wow, look at that. 5 memberships. And then we also got Mushy Mystic. Well, most of the time I'm sometimes I get frustrated. I want to say, hey, you guys, I know what I'm doing, you know? So maybe that doesn't seem humble sounding, but into place in the most correct way. All right, you gonna send him over there? Yeah, I mean, if he really was able to get FOIA requests that quick, that'd be amazing. Tell you that. Yeah, here's what you know. Just to repeat, if there's people that just showed up, watch this. I typed it in Google, you know, using their AI thing. I said, can old Mauser Model 98 30-06 bullets yaw more than newer rifles? And it really starts talking about it depends on how many, if it's been used a lot, and if it's been maintained, etc. You know, barrel wear, muzzle crown damage, bore dimensions. You know, because after a while, I guess it gets wider, you know, like it's not as tight inside the barrel anymore. And it's really all, it comes down to about like it's spinning and maintaining its, what was that term? Like centrifugal force to keep it in line. And if it's not doing that, it just kind of, so like right here it says rifling twist rate. The rate at which the rifling twists is crucial for properly stabilizing a bullet. Modern rifles typically use fast twist rates to better stabilize longer, heavier, and more aerodynamically efficient bullets. If an old Mauser has a slower twist rate, it may not adequately stabilize some modern high-tech bullets. So you put a bullet in there. Ooh, I got a 30-06. I'm going to put this new bullet in there. And because the Mauser doesn't have the, what is it, the rifling, what do they call it? The rifling twist rate to stabilize that bullet, it might rotate in the air. I mean, I just think this is it, man. And it's rotating, and it keyholed into his neck. I think Paramount Tactical was talking about the keyhole effect, but they were talking about a ricochet. I think the bullet was just doing that in the air, hit him in the neck, hit the bone, and it had so much resistance because it went in sideways that his bone was able to stop it. You know, because apparently the bullet was found in his neck, underneath the skin. I don't know if it was on the other side, almost coming out, whatever, but hey, thank you, this account. I will blow a big hole. That's what I'm confused about. Did you send it, Andrew? I've been checking my email over here. Let's see. It will blow a big hole. That's what I'm confused about. Well, maybe it doesn't right when it comes in. You know, I think the entrance wound could just go in there, and then it stopped in there. It didn't go out the back. The back is where you get the bigger hole. It didn't come out the back, though. But apparently it was devastating in there. Like, he had no chance of living. Well, if you know, you might believe it ricocheted, but if there's no... Will you still believe it ricocheted if there's no bulletproof vest? And I'm saying all this, I'm not a gun expert. I'm not a ballistic expert. I just had a thought, looked it up, and it sounded like... I mean, here's the conclusion down here. A Mauser Model 98 in good to very good condition with an unworn barrel is fully capable of shooting accurately with minimal yaw, especially when using properly sized ammunition. But see, that's saying one that is in very good to very good with very, you know, like not used very much, unworn. But let's say this was used a lot, you know, the grandfather used it and they shot it all the time practicing. It says, however, a Mauser that has seen a lot of use is highly likely to have a worn barrel and crown, which will result in far more bullet yaw and much worse accuracy than a well-maintained modern rifle. So I think that's interesting. Now, just that alone is interesting, right? Hey, you don't need to delete comments. What happened? Ah, shit. God. Anyways, Andrew, if you have it out there, I'd appreciate it if you'd send it to me so I can check it out. All right? I'm not sure what happened. I think your last comment got accidentally removed. Oh, he said he's not sending. Why not? Jeez. Okay, well, she's not going to know what to do with it. He didn't say he wasn't sending it to me. He said he's not sending it tonight. Hey, what cameras did you get it for over there? Yeah, it's 140 yards. They said a bullet yaws more if you shoot it straight up in the air. It has a better chance of doing that. 140 yard shot. Yeah, let me see. Okay, an old Mauser model 98 30 bullets. Yaw from Alright, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yes, it's possible for a bullet fired from a worn Mauser 98 30-60 yaw or wobble at 140 yards. Yaw is an indication of bullet instability and can be caused by a worn barrel, though it's less likely to occur at a relatively close range like 140 yards compared to longer distances. So, you know, it's less likely, but it happens, right? So that might be exactly what happened here. A rifle barrel has a series of helical grooves known as rifling that spin the bullet as it travels down the barrel. This spin stabilizes the bullet in flight, similar to how a spinning football flies straight. As a barrel wears out, several issues can reduce the effectiveness of the rifling. Erosion. The area of the barrel just in front of the chamber, called the throat, is exposed to the most heat and pressure. This is where erosion and fire cracking typically begin, making it difficult for the bullet to properly engage the rifling and get a consistent spin. Roughness. A rough, worn barrel can scuff the bullet's surface, which can increase drag and destabilize its flight. Insufficient spin. When the rifling is worn down, the bullet may not be engraved deeply enough to impact the proper rate of spin. The reduced spin makes the bullet less stable and more prone to yawing or tumbling. And then it says, what causes a bullet to yaw? Yaw is when the bullet's nose rotates away from its line of flight. Several factors can contribute to this, especially in a rifle with a worn barrel. So that's where it comes down to, right? Does he have a worn barrel here? I think I did, William. Isn't that the one, the video that you sent? I don't know. Where is it? I don't see it. Send it to me again, just so I... Oh, wait, no, that's right. You sent it. It was in my spam folder. Right? The tumbling bullet, that one?
All right, now if you come around to the other side, this is where things get really... Looks like they actually hit center of mass, and when I shifted my fire left, it looks like some of the rounds went off target. So that bullet may be curving a little bit in flight because it looks like where I was aiming, it was hitting that, or I was aiming here and they were going off the right side, but I see no evidence of that. And when I shifted left, I actually hit center of mass. Who knows? But you can clearly...
Oh, that's right. You sent another... hold on. This thing? I mean, what about it? What do you want me to do with this? Also in the rifle photo that was leaked is a Century Armor's import Centurion 98. The one in the photo appears to have pivot mount scope rings. I mean the one that's in the photo that law enforcement put out there? Okay, is that what he has then? So they didn't call it that. They called it a mouse. Is this still a Mauser though, or it's not even a Mauser rifle? No, Century Arms Rifles Mauser I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at here. Oh, down here. Bolt action made on military 98 Mauser action synthetic stock. So what is it saying about, I mean, is the barrel, can the barrel still be old and worn? Bolt action made on military 98 Mauser action synthetic stock. So it's not a real, though it's not made out of wood. 22-inch barrel with no sights. But what about the barrel itself? Well, that's pretty cool. So that's the specific rifle from, like, that's the one that was in the box. So is it something like you take, like, let's say over years you've been using it, but your stock wears out. Can you take the rifle, I mean the barrel off of it, and then put it on this Century Arms, you know, synthetic stock? Is that what we're doing here? Is that kind of what's happening? Right, but this is so old. It talked about being worn. Like if you've used it over and over and over again, right? Oh, so that's like, how long is this weapon then? So that's kind of interesting. That looks different. How long is this thing? That looks way shorter than what we were looking at before. Right, but let's say you had it modified. The gun is a 270. Well, what are you talking about? You sent it to me. You sent it to me. That's the link. It's right here. That's the link you sent me. Centurion 98 270 win. You did. I just clicked on the link again. It's right there. This is what came up. So you did. Here, want me? I'll put the email on the screen and click on it. Hey, Sandy, you don't know what a Mauser is or anything, okay? Let the people that know the guns say it. Okay, well, whoever sent it to me, okay, is all I'm saying. All right. Somebody said, "Hey, Gray, I sent you something. A 98, that's the same thing that's in the email." What email did you send me, Nate? You guys are... let's see, what would the speed of the bullet be at that distance? I don't know. Okay, well, who was the one above that said, "Great, did you get my email?" You sort of took over the conversation, Nate, regarding it. You said, I wanted you to see something. Or was that, who said that? You said you wanted me to see... Man, I'm just totally confused. Oh, it was William. Pull the leaked file photo and compare it. Okay. Okay, that was you. William sent it, not Nate. Man, you guys are confusing the hell out of me. Or maybe I'm just getting old and can't remember anything anymore. I think that's more likely. Okay, sorry about that, Nate. You took over the conversation like it was yours. You owned it, man. You were on fire about that weapon. I'm not reading your comments. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Let's see. I don't, can somebody send me that picture? I don't have it in my folder for some reason. Maybe I can find it. Hold on. There it is. I got it. Well, that does look pretty good. I mean, at least the stock is similar, for sure. I mean, everything looks pretty similar. I don't know about the bolt. I don't know. It could be just an angle there. That doesn't look too bad, right? I mean, but they don't have the edge of it there, so we don't know how long it is. That one definitely is a hell of a lot shorter, or this one, than we thought. But it could end right there on the end of the screen. Let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, about 4. Yeah. Right. That does look really similar. At least the stock does. Okay, Sandy. I'm sure you didn't know what kind of weapon that rifle was, though. Come on, Sandy. All right, let's see. All right, Sandy Shirley's our local gun expert. Sorry, Sandy Shirley. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm not saying people know how to shoot, but to sit there and pretend you can, like you're identifying well, that's not a Mauser gray, that's a 200. I mean, that's like, some fanatical gun person. Beret guy was great questions with a big green, I don't know what that means, Jason. Oh, yeah, with Paramount Tactical. Yeah, he actually knows what he's doing. This bolt action created in 1898. Yeah, we don't really need the history of it, right? We're just trying to figure out. Now, let me show you the video, though. That was sort of interesting here.
All right, now if you come around to the other side, this is where things get really, really interesting. There's something suspiciously missing from the back side of this target. And what's missing are exit holes. There's not a single exit hole in this sweater. I'll lift the sweater up and see what we see. I'm going to show you something else that's really interesting. All right, you can see some of the keyhole rounds that came through. That looks like a keyhole to me. But you can see the rubber dummy's not even that thick here. But many of the rounds hit here. You can see some of the keyholes. But none of them made it through the sweater. And if I look down here on the ground,
isn't that amazing?
Look what I find.
That's amazing. So because it was sideways, it sort of came through and lost all of its momentum and just sort of fell to the ground. I think this is exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk. I think the shot, probably not very well maintained rifle over the years, used a lot. It rotated in the air, hit him in the neck, and didn't make it through. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think that's exactly what happened. I'm just throwing it out there because this explains it all. You know, sort of like what Paramount Tactical said was, oh yeah, it explains it all if it ricocheted, right? And because it, you know, it sort of appears that maybe it keyholed and didn't make it out the neck. But now you just look at it and you go, look, you've got a rifle, a type that went, because it gets so old and worn that it's prone for yawing to take effect. And that makes sense, doesn't it? And the bullet was found in his neck, and the bullet hit his bone and didn't go through. And I think because it was sideways, it just didn't make it all the way through. And so I think this kind of answers the question. I'd be, if it's something else, whatever they come up with is going to be the answer. I just think this is most likely going to be the answer because the shot, it was like, and he got hit. Like, you can tell that the gunshot and the bullet are the same. You know, that's what happened. The shot from the roof is what hit him. And because those are prone, if they're not maintained or used or worn, to yaw, it probably hit him right there. And that's right when the bullet hit, is right when you see, like, you know, that right. I think it actually hit him and then it started bleeding, but it's in such a short amount of time, like a frame, that you can't even see it. And it just goes in there, but the bullet's sideways, so it doesn't make it out the back. It hits the bone and just stays right there. Just like he just showed us. When the bullets went through, when it was sideways, it didn't even affect the shirt at all. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, maybe they'll give like an update at some point and discuss it. I don't know if it's sexist. I think most men generally do know more about firearms, right? But there are women. I see them on YouTube that know just as much as any guy. I just think more men use guns than women, right? So I think it'd be more likely, you know. I think gun experts that are women are just as good as gun experts that are guys. There's just more men that are gun experts, right? So it's not really sexist for somebody, you know. And we just don't need the complaining endlessly every single night, Sandy. You're a moderator, so it'd be kind of nice if you were just like pleasant and sort of ushering people along and having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's see. Even though it's right there on video, people will say the bullet came out somewhere. Well, yeah, well, they admit that it didn't, though. Here, look at this. See, we read this earlier right here. It says, I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of exit. This is turning point. Lack of exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize, this is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon. Hey, but I'll tell you what, Sandy, I guarantee you're a better hunter than I am. I do have pistols, a revolver and a pistol, but I've never hunted with a rifle. I do have a Black Cat pellet gun, though. It's really good. It's got a scope on it and everything. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through. Okay, right. It says, I just spoke with a surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. He said, I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to the doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie.
You are the first person streaming that has paid attention, and the first super chats I have done.
Well, thanks, William. Appreciate it. Hey, Sandy, nobody said to... you always do this huffing and puffing goodnight thing. You know, all I said was, come on, Sandy, about that earlier, right? It's not a big deal. I'm sure you're a gun expert. You know, you can immediately grab a weapon and go, oh, look at this is a Mauser, you know, etc. All right? Let's see. It's just that we just want more peaceful times in here. Oh geez, here we go. Here we go. I am nice, Aaron. What's not nice is when there's like creating hostility, right? All I said was, "Oh, come on." So Aaron, just shut the hell up. Hi from New Zealand. I'm not sure what you're saying. Wow, thanks, Gray. What? Yeah. Well, I just kind of went over the gun, the bullet information. Man, the comments in here are crazy. All I did was just want to talk about the yaw effect of a rifle. And then I got links sent, and they went to a different kind of gun, and people, it's just all over the place. Yeah, he said it was just beneath the skin. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from the caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, and an elk, etc. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to the doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. His bone was so healthy and density was so impressive that it's like the Man of Steel. It should have gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. Well, if I'm going to read it again, are you going to be here, Zozo? So I'm about to, I'll just read this whole thing again over here. All right? So this is what I asked. Yeah, maybe let's just do this. Yeah, let's read this one right here. All right? Are you going to be here, Zozo? Because I'm going to go over this if you're going to be here. Because I've already read it. Well, it didn't exit his body, Raven, so it's pure luck. Yeah, it's right here. It says, can older Mauser model 98 30-06 bullets yaw more than newer rifles? Okay, watch. So I asked that question. Whether an old Mauser model 98 30-06 yaws more than a yaws, that means it like rotates incorrectly. You know, like instead of going straight across like that, it kind of goes, it tumbles. Just think of it like that. You know, it might not tumble that much, but it's not straight, you know. It depends on the condition of the Mauser barrel, not its age or basic design. So it could be 100 years old. If it's not fired a lot, it would still work great. The Mauser 98 action is fundamentally robust and capable of high accuracy, but a century of use or poor maintenance can introduce wear that causes the bullet to yaw, wobble in flight. And it says the barrel wear. Over time, the internal lands and grooves of a rifle barrel can wear down, particularly near the chamber, a process known as throat erosion. An old worn barrel will not impart a consistent tight spin on the bullet, leading to a poor gyroscopic stability. So it's not spinning tightly like a football when they throw it and it's got that nice spiral. It's more like when it's wobbling. And then so it says the muzzle crown damage. The muzzle crown is at the very end of the barrel where the bullet exits. Any damage, nicks, or uneven wear on the crown can disrupt the bullet's release and its rotational stability, causing it to wobble or yaw. The bore dimensions. After decades of use and cleaning, an old barrel can have an oversized or inconsistent bore diameter. That means inside. It's not tight anymore. If the bullet does not create a tight seal, gas can escape past it, resulting in poor or uneven spin. I just think this is exactly what it is, man. I think this gun is probably old, maybe not maintained very well. It's probably been fired a lot. And it's a shot that did that in the air. It just came out and it was like, nee, and it hit him right there. And because it was sideways, it's like it had a lot of force when it hit him, but there was a lot of resistance when it got into his neck and then it stopped on the bone. That's exactly what I think happened. Probably shattered his neck bone or whatever, but it stopped right there and it didn't make it out the back. Some of his vertebrae, whatever. Does that make sense? It just came out the front because it never made out the back. That's just going to be my guess. It makes all the sense in the world to me. There's no ricochet. There's nothing. The bullet just did that in the air and hit him, and it didn't make it out the back because of the resistance being flat. Had it gone in how it's supposed to go in, it would have gone straight in, right?
Opened up a whole question on the history of the rifle.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Where'd you open up the question? Yeah, well, I mean, the way he wrote that is going to build a conspiracy. Oh my God, nobody's that lucky. There's no way. But what explains it is it goes in kind of sideways, tumbling. I'm not playing a video like that. I'm not interested in. I'm not going to play a video of him. I just saying it was tumbling, Zozo. We just went over the whole thing. I explained it with my hands on the screen. It's not straight. It's kind of rotating, like tumbling in. Wobbling. So it's not straight. Like it's kind of. What? You ever seen a football pass, Zozo? When it's a tight spiral, how it's nice and spinning, but then another time somebody throws it, it kind of wobbles and. And another time somebody throws it and it kind of wobbles like that in the air, sort of. You seen that? I think that's exactly what happened. And probably if it starts wobbling, and at some point it might even like rotate and it's sideways. Well, they call it keyholing, so it must be kind of like it's like down. It's not completely. So like a point goes in, and then the other part, the other half goes in later, like sideways. Ish. Well, you know, like in footy, Zozo. You know when they pass the ball and they kind of flip it over and it's nice and spiral? Hey, no 7N6. Not interested. Alright? Are you the one that's Mo? That person? I'm not playing your video on the screen. Okay? I'm not playing any Charlie Kirk getting shot videos. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I've seen this video before, though. It doesn't do anything for me. What do you want me to get from it? Oh, you're talking about that black thing? Oh man, you're still talking about the black object. Slow playback speed. Secondary F5 to 7 focus on back collar. You'll see it move in the bulge of the bullet under the skin. It also explains the chain being flung, pulling shirt. Also, note there's no indication of any projectile exiting. Yeah, I don't know what are you wanting me to see? And what do you want me to see? What do you want me to see from it? Or 7N6? How does this show? I was just coming on here. It's turned into a freaking nightmare again. You get Sandy Shirley getting upset. You've got all these people just, turning into nut jobs in here. What's happening? This was just supposed to be a simple show. Just like, hey, here's an idea, you guys. God, I get so frustrated. That's why I don't even like doing shows anymore. I actually go to sleep angry. It's just like, can't I just come on here and do this and just kind of let you have these ideas here? Instead it turns into all this other stuff. Oh, everybody's sexist. Everybody's, it's garbage. Yeah, that's not a bullet there, guy. That's his earpiece. Nice try, though. All right, never mind. Yeah, it's like most of the time now I get off of here and I'm just like, Jesus, man, this isn't what I signed up for. Yeah. People just don't want to hear the truth because in this case, really simple and yeah. Every denial and accusation by Netanyahu is literally... No, it's not. It's not, Mr. Musa. You're an idiot. Okay? Unless you're quoting somebody. Let's see. You're clear in your analysis. Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you. It's not plausible, 7 and 6. I mean, it is. Well, it is plausible. What the report is, yeah, it was under the skin. But what you're showing me isn't what has nothing to do with that. All right? I'm just letting you know. I mean, I understand your enthusiasm and everything. I heard that was actually like a picture from like the box, like an older picture of the gun in the box from the home or something. I don't know. I sang Sweet Caroline. Yes, everybody, you got to zoom in on the pixels. Let me see here. Hold on a second, you guys. I've been working on this. You keep zooming in. You can see it right there. There's two eyes. Can you see that? Look it. Look it right there. Look it, look it, look it, look it, look it, look it, look it. There's an eye right there, and another eye there, and then a nose, and then an open mouth right there. Now, I'm not sure if this is an arm. We know this is a face, though. That's 100%, okay? Now, right here, however, this is, could be an arm, maybe. Looks like an arm. And then what does this look like over here? Maybe a teddy bear with its leg. Oh, look at. You see the teddy bear head there? Look at. Teddy bear, and then the right arm, the right leg, and then another left leg there. What hey, it looks like Zozo's mother-in-law. See, I told you it looked like somebody. You know, it's obvious. All right? Let's look at... Oh, my God, you guys. That is actually a person laying there. How did we get that? That's incredible, you guys. I mean, I think that might actually be a person. But look. Look at that. You see the leg and the arm and the head and everything? I'll tell you what, if I measure that, and that's like 5 feet something, that is a person. Here we go. Yeah, let's see. It's 6 foot, just over 6 feet. Definitely looks like a person like laying on a backpack or something. That's kind of weird to have that in there, to be honest with you. That's funny, though. Now, come on. That humor there was definitely super chat worthy, don't you think? It's been a while, you guys. It's been a while. Up there, Mushy Mystic, like an hour ago. Now that you called it out, I expect it on Candace channel tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I mean the frog face? I don't know, you guys. I was watching on YouTube and there's this guy laying there. How is that possible? Well, you see, Candace, it's an actual satellite image of the ground at the time. So it's very possible that on perhaps even a sunny day that somebody might be laying on the grass when it's sunny outside, Candace. No, there's no way, man. Netanyahu put that guy there, man. I tell you what. He probably got the Mossad, but Candace, it's just a guy laying on the grass, enjoying the sunshine. That's what they want you to think, Gray. Let's see. It is 3D. It is a person. That is a person. It doesn't matter, though. I mean, who cares? You know? Hey, look at that. Nate Campbell there. I'll do $4.99. Someone follow my lead. Yeah.
It'll do $4.99.
All right, let's do a poll in here. Do you think it's likely that the yaw keyhole effect in direct flight is what happened? I do. I think this is going to be it right here. Now it's Netanyahu going, "Find me, Candace. I'm laying on the grass." Mushy Mystic got incited by Nate Campbell. Conspiracy theorists cannot accept it, though. Why don't you know what the question means? We just went over the whole thing. The yaw of the bullet going in sideways when it hit Charlie Kirk, and it was a straight shot out of the bullet. It didn't ricochet or anything. It just in the air rotated. Here, just look at me on this. Here, watch this. I'm going to put my whole face on the screen. All right, watch. Watch this. Here's Zozo. Check it out. This will be it. I got it, man. I just got it. Here's a bullet. It's coming in straight. Boom! Right? It would just blast you right in the face, right? But in this case, it came in and it kind of was rotating. It came in like this, and it rotates and kind of went in, the bullet sideways when it went in his neck. All right, so it's just sort of, it doesn't come in straight like this. It actually was rotating, so it wasn't, so when it hit his neck, there was a lot of, what do you call it, friction. The bullet wasn't able to just go straight through and carve through it. It went in sideways, kind of like slapping versus like poking somebody, you know. You got it? All right. Thanks, Megsy. Did she take off when I gave that amazing description right there? And it's, it's also rotating at the same time, like. We don't know what it is. It's not a stock photo, Jesse. It's pretty, it's an old looking photograph. It's not like, hey, here's one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the entry. That's how it made that bigger hole, and it just started bleeding really quick, and it never exited because it came in sideways. There was a lot more, like friction on the bullet itself, and it hit the bone, and it never made it out of the neck. And then Jesse just said a tumbling bullet speed decreases significantly too. And that's what this whole article was about, was that like the older the bullet is, the gun is, and the more use it has, inside the barrel it starts widening out. It's not tight anymore, and when it comes out, it's just sort of, it's not a tight spiral. I think the football analogy is like the perfect one. And it makes sense. It sort of makes everything work. The guy's on the roof. He's using an old gun. He fires it. It tumbles. The bullet hits him in the neck. Doesn't make it out the back because it hits the bone. Case closed, man. It's just so... I mean, isn't that the most common sense thing you've ever heard in your life? It just sort of makes sense. Instead of like, well, let's see. It ricocheted off of a pipe over here, hit this guy's forehead, bounced over there, hit this one. Yeah. I just think that when it hit, there was even more kinetic energy, like in terms of, because now it's like slapping instead of poking. Like, I don't know how to, it's hard to explain it. Like if you have a sword and you just drive it right through somebody, it would easily go through, and obviously would probably kill the person, but if you took it and slapped them with it, there'd be a lot more energy sort of hitting them instead of like penetrating through, and it's like coming in a little bit of an angle. So I think there's a lot more energy. I mean, I'm not an expert, like I said, but it feels like there'd be a lot more energy on a keyhole bullet on the surface than there would be a bullet that's a tight spiral going right through. You'd still got a lot of energy on that, but I think there'd be more on the keyhole. I guess I could actually type that in. Maybe I'm wrong. That was just a guess, so I don't know. I don't know what I don't know if that's the right way to say it. While surface energy isn't the correct physics term, yeah, I didn't know, to describe the transfer of bullets' energy upon impact, a tumbling keyhole bullet imparts more energy over a larger surface area on a target than a tightly spinning bullet. Boom! That's what I wanted to know. Look at that. Tumbling keyhole bullet imparts more energy over a larger surface area. That's why his whole body went... Man, that's crazy, right? Listen to that, you guys. Isn't that amazing? That actually makes that whole thing make sense. Hits him in the neck and the shirt and everything. Moves around. Did you guys even pay attention to that? Listen to that. A tumbling keyhole bullet imparts more energy over a larger surface area on a target than a tightly spinning bullet. A keyholing bullet is unstable and tumbles sideways, while a stable, tight spiral bullet fires straight. I knew it. I knew it. What's going on, Sleuthy Ruthie? What happened? Why is what important? What are you talking about? You talking to me? Why is everybody so angry in here tonight? Did I cause that? I didn't feel like I did. I was just trying to do a show, you know? There you guys. Let's be
Stupid as being nice.
okay, that's not the one I wanted to play. All right, everybody, have a happy time tonight. Tonight we're just full of frolicky fun and goofy times. Everybody just put a smile on your face. Okay, if that doesn't work, how about this one? Yes, everybody, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Yes, you too can believe in aliens. Came down from outer space, even. How about that one? Huh? Very curious, everybody. Very curious. That's right, and Grant Hughes Investigates comes in and saves the day with logical, rational thinking. Watch all the other crazy people that come home to Grant Hughes Investigates to get the facts of a case. All right.
Correct.
All right, hey. Good times, huh? You're Very dramatic. That was pretty good, though, wasn't it? Damn near impossible to shoot out a barrel, especially with a bolt action. I'm not even sure what that even means. What do you mean, shoot out a barrel? I know a lot about Bible, and it's obvious you know nothing, bro. Are you talking to me? What's Bible have to do with anything that I just said? Well, it's not, Aaron. It just said it over years and years and years of, of use, so especially a gun that would be 80-something years old. They just said it right there. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. Yeah, let's see. What is keyholing? When a person fires a rifled weapon towards a paper target, the usual result expected is that a round hole corresponding to the diameter of the bullet will appear in the target. However, sometimes a larger hole appears. Often the hole may appear longer in one direction than the other. Yeah, so is this what... Are these all holes there? Jesus. That's crazy. Now, those look like bullets, actually. I don't know. Yeah, so maybe something like that. Look at that right there. Maybe. See that? It's almost sideways when it went through that. I bet you that's exactly what happened. Look at that. How wide that is, and it just doesn't have the ability to get through, hit bone, and just stopped right in there. Hey, thanks, CS Punisher. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know what's weird is right after my last show, I was just sitting there and I go, well, you know what? That gun is sort of old. You know, that style. And then I remembered somebody's talking about keyholing. I think we were even talking about it on the last show or something. Then somebody sent me the keyholing video, and it's like, well, is that just how it was in the air anyways? And then it turns out that an older, sort of a gun that was used for a long time, over time it wears out, and you have much more likelihood of a tumbling bullet, for a lack of a better term. But do you think it's still plausible that... No, I don't. I don't. I mean, we still don't have the definitive answer on if he was wearing a plate or not. But the sheriff said he wasn't wearing one. And while something like that might be plausible, I don't think that's what happened. Why isn't there a hole in the front of his shirt, if that's true? And I think you get up there to CS Punisher. Yeah, the sheriff said somewhere. I think it was... who was that? I can't remember. It was one of the reporters interviewed your super chat worthy Gray. Will you be live streaming the Charlie Kirk? I think is it 9 a.m. tomorrow? Jesus, probably. Yeah. I think so. I mean, where's it going to be? Who's streaming it? I don't know. What do you mean, what was Alex Jones? The action might be 80 years old, but not the barrel. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, either way, it does talk... I mean, I asked the specific question about it. Huh? He wasn't who? Yeah. I mean, doesn't this just make sense, though, I mean, I look at it just like, oh, I'm not a gun expert, but if I'm not an idiot. Like, I understand physics, and that's why I was thinking, well, if it's sideways and it had velocity to it, I think it would have a lot more energy over, just like, and that's maybe why the shirt's moving around and his face gets bigger and his neck gets wider, because it comes in sideways. I think if that bullet hit his neck and it was a tight spiral, you wouldn't even have seen it. And it would have gone out the back, and then he just would have collapsed to the ground. I think the bullet would have gone straight through almost before he said even did anything. But you see all this energy hit his body, and then blood comes out. What do you think? I think, don't you guys think that? Like, if a bullet hit his neck, it would just go straight through. I mean, you wouldn't even, there would be no expansion of all this stuff right away. There'd still be the shock wave, but it wouldn't be like what we saw. It seemed like the energy was on impact almost. And it feels like that's what you would get if it was sideways. If the bullet went through, the energy would sort of be a slight delayed action of the... you see it when it hits the gel, it kind of does that. But this would be like slapping something on the surface. Yeah, it's true. The boyfriend... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true, Zozo. I mean, he knew in those text messages that he did it. Shouldn't he have called the cops at that point? Maybe there's laws like that, Husband and wives, they're not required to do stuff. He's not a husband, but, maybe they live in... Either way, when hit by any bullet going that fast, keyhole or not, flesh, blood, and bone are going everywhere. Well, hey, Richard, we saw what happened. The bullet went in his left part of his neck. It didn't exit. The doctor found the bullet in there. It is what it is, man. Not everything is exactly like how you want it to be. I vote Gray's theory is more like the conspiracy theories as of now. I don't know what that means. That doesn't sound like a conspiracy theory at all. It sounds like a rational thought. Oh, I see. You wrote it exactly the opposite of what you meant. That's crazy. Well, to give the defense attorney an idea, maybe. Are you sure it's 9 Pacific time? I thought it starts at like 1 o'clock, and they're like 2 hours. I don't know. When he announced the first time the first shooter was caught, Tyler texted boyfriend and said, "Look under the keyboard." Well, we don't know if it was right at that time. It was after that. Yeah, I mean, the old guy was caught. Yeah, so that's if it's 2 p.m. Eastern, that would be 11 my time. If it's 2 p.m. Eastern, it's 11 my time. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Dark Watch, for the Cash App. Haven't got one of those in a long time. Appreciate it. Looks like a couple, Stephanie and Ivo. Hey, wow, thanks so much. It was almost a cat eye on there, on a PayPal. Thank you. Really? Jeez. It's going to be a huge event. I mean, I'm really nervous though. I think there's a lot of really radical, hard lefty nut jobs out there, and I'm not saying everybody's. But this circumstance right here is a. I mean, you see it all. Look at. It's obvious, right? Right. Even right now, after Charlie Kirk was killed, who are the people that are minimizing his death and even mocking his death? And some people are outright just saying ridiculous things about it. Those are all people on the left. Is there an argument there? Okay, is there something to argue about on that? So it should be embarrassing for the civil-minded Democrats out there that you have people like that, like AOC completely lying in Congress about things that Charlie Kirk said. He never said any of those things. And, it's obvious. It's crazy. I mean, now it shows you that was the sentiment, right? So the way that they're treating Charlie Kirk right now should be the proof that there was this feeling behind the scenes that led to him being shot. And they try to pin it on somebody else. And now they realize it's one of their own people. And they're exhibiting the same behavior without the violence that the shooter had. The way they talk, they make Charlie Kirk sound like one of the worst human beings that there ever was. Now, he has some beliefs in, like, some of his religiously based thoughts about things that I totally don't agree with. But on his political belief system, I'm shocked. Like, going back and watching his videos, I say the same things, like literally the same things, and they're just common sense thoughts. It's weird, just really simple, basic things. But for example, one of the things he believes in the religious realm is that, like, somehow gay people can, if they just believe in Jesus, won't be gay anymore. I don't. That's just, that's not real. That's completely bogus. So that's one of those things that I just go, yeah, no, I don't agree with that one, but I don't, but some of the other things I agree with, right? So it's just, nobody agrees with everybody. You guys don't agree with me 90% of the time, right? Yeah, maybe not 90, but a few percentages. Well, yeah, who said it was something to be killed over? I'm just saying that's something I don't agree with. I mean, who cares if he thinks that? That's just something you look at and go, yeah, I don't agree with you. 44%? Yeah. Okay. Hey, we got 57% up there on the yes. That's pretty good. Out of 136. So, I mean, I still think there could be a conspiracy in the case, but it's not like how the conspiracy theorists are talking about it. I'm thinking that, like, in the Discord chat, there were people talking about it and sort of egging somebody on. Hey, yeah, you should do it, man. You should do it. That kind of stuff. You know? I don't think there's, and I guess it's possible that there could have been, you know, I just don't think it's very likely at all, but somebody there that was saying, hey, yeah, ready to go, yeah, it's all clear, you know, something like that. Some random person somewhere. But that's the level of it. It's not there's some guy with a secret bullet between his fingers and he's shooting under his arm. Oh, there's a guy that came up a tunnel. Oh, look, there's a guy over there. He's going, yay, he's doing something. There was a guy that was it was all excited because he's about to say something, and they think he's shooting. These people are crazy. Every single movement that everybody does. And they go like this. Oh my God, it's a signal. It does sort of look like a signal, but it turns out, when you watch it again, oh yeah, he's just kind of scratching his nose and he's doing a... That's what they want you to think, Ray. That's what it's all about, man. It's... Now, the guy in the grass, the guy wearing all black, the guy that was cheering. That guy has a shitty excuse. You know what he said today? He said, after the shot, it looked like he was going to die, so I was saying, fight, fight, fight. But he's all smiling and laughing. That guy's full of crap. I mean, I think he was like high or something. Hey, thanks for gifting a membership. Your latex spouse. Your latex spouse. Sounds pretty good. I'm not sure what that even means. What does that mean? What does that mean, everybody? What do you think how he got up on the roof and that entrance was blocked? Because it wasn't. They blocked it after the shooting. Where do you guys come from? Where do you guys come from here? It wasn't blocked. They blocked it after the shooting because they didn't want people going up there, for God's sakes. That sounds like, hey, how do you know he didn't hurt his knee when he jumped off the roof? That's why he was limping. Well, because he limped before getting on the roof and didn't limp while he was on the roof. Yeah, it's blocked now, because in today's video, right, like I showed you, the stairway is blocked up to the roof. Because after the shooting, they put a block there. They blocked it. Prior to that, it was wide open. Yeah, the stairs, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't like the scuba diving gear theory? Almost like Rambo, you know, he's sort of under the water and just sort of... Or more, actually not Rambo, Cobra. Remember that with what was his face? The karate guy, Chuck Norris. Remember he's under the water and he comes up. Yeah, anybody could get up there. It's just let me show you here. But I'm just not sure why. You know, I mean, I don't know why you were asking that. It's just bizarre. I mean, look at there's stairs right here. You can go down. Look, I mean, this is pretty crazy, but this is literally what we were showing this the other day. I mean, these are the stairs, you know. Let me see if I can literally go inside there. Hold on. Yeah, so the stairs, they go up, right? And they come up just like this. I mean, they're even nice stairs, so you can go right up here onto this thing. And there's a fence right there. And then what he did was he stepped over this fence at 12:15. And then at 12:15 he was standing here. At 12:17 he stepped over the fence and went right back here and, you know, like squatted down and put together the rifle. And then he sat there for 5 minutes. Then he took off at 12:22 and he ran around like this, right over this corner, shimmied over, and right there's the shot, and then boom, hit Charlie Kirk right in the neck. Then from that same, I don't know where I am right now, way up in the sky. So there it was right there. So from that shot right there, he then runs this direction. And then runs right around the side of the building here, and then drops off right there onto the ground with the gun in the hand, wrapped in a black towel. He runs right over here, crosses over here, and guess what? Right over there, right, I can't, this thing is not working today. Okay, right there, he jumped off the roof, and he ran right over here, and then right in there is where the rifle was found, apparently. Most likely. And they found it wrapped in a black blanket, just like he was holding in his hand when he ran across the street. And then his DNA was on the trigger. And then he mentioned leaving it there in the messages. But he didn't do it, though. I don't know, somebody sent me a message. I don't know, who they are or anything they said. It just said it's likely that the bullet, they think I was correct about it. It's likely the bullet was tumbling. Normally the velocity when fired would be between 3,000 feet per second, would have been 3,000 feet per second, and tumbling bullet would decrease velocity a half to 2/3. So it's possible it could have been as low as 1,000 feet per second. The entrance through the neck and then hitting bone would have shattered the bone. It would account for the speed being reduced and after hitting bone going no further. That actually makes a hell of a lot of sense there. Let's see. When a bullet is from rifle is tumbling, what effect does that have on speed? Let's see. A tumbling bullet from a 30-06 rifle experiences increased air resistance drag which slows its speed significantly and reduces its flight range. This increased drag is due to bullet large surface area, just like a spiral football. You can throw a bomb. If it's spiraling, you can throw it a long ways. When it's not, it doesn't go quite as far, and then it just sort of drops out of the air. Loss of a bullet is stabilized in flight by the spin. Let's see. What's this? All right, here it is. While there's no specific figure for the reduction in speed, the effect is severe and instantaneous, making it impossible to predict with standard ballistic data. The rate of deceleration depends on when the tumbling begins. For a 30-06 cartridge fired from a quality barrel, a tumbling bullet would be a sign of a significant problem likely due to an incorrect bullet-to-barrel twist combination. If a bullet starts tumbling shortly after leaving the muzzle, its speed and accuracy would diminish so rapidly that it could fail to even hit a close-range target. Some bullets can stabilize after traveling a long distance, especially after going subsonic, which also leads to tumbling and a rapid loss of speed. Some bullets can destabilize after traveling a long distance, especially after going subsonic, which also leads to tumbling and a rapid loss of speed. In this case, the bullet has already lost significant velocity, but tumbling would accelerate its deceleration, causing it to fall to the ground much sooner than a stable bullet. So let's say it goes, What's the normal speed, I guess? What is the average, of a bullet fired from, I'm sure it depends on what type, but yeah, so it looks like 2,400 to 3,400, just like you said. Right in the middle is 3,000, like you said, per second, or 3,000 feet per second. Right. So if it, let's say it got down to 1,200, it would still make that hole in his neck, and still would be really fast. I mean, from 100 and, well, just look at it like this. Let's say it's going. He was 140 yards, which is 420 feet. So that means in a third of a second from the time he shot, even if the bullet was tumbling, would still hit him. So it'd be like that, just really fast. It'd still hit him, but it would be tumbling and hit him kind of sideways, hit the neck, and then get stuck in there because it wasn't going fast enough, nor was it spiraling to go through. So it just goes through, kind of hard impact, makes the hole, and then it stops in the bone in his neck. All right, I think that's, so thank you, JM, for sending that. Not sure you want your name out there, but that makes sense. Of course, I have to go out and look it up. This reminds me of case example. I think it's just a possible. What do you mean a TUI bullet? What does that even mean? Just ask if the tumbling bullet from 140 yards aiming at the head would hit a target. No thanks. Why don't you do it? I don't think it was tumbling on impact. It seems like a neck, it would just go right through like butter at start. Why does it matter? What do you mean? Why are you here, Ruthie? I mean, jeez. I mean, why even be here if nothing matters what we're talking about? I mean, what a waste of time. What matters is people have a ton of conspiracy theories, and we're just trying to put them all to rest. That's why it matters, Sleuthy Ruthie. You must not be very sleuthy, Ruthie. You sound like your name. You should get rid of the sleuthy part of your name and turn it into something else. How about not interested Ruthie? See, Great White had to delete their cut down because they misspelled it. Try to get it right this next time, Great White. That's hilarious. Yeah, see you later, Sleuthy Ruthie. Well, I'm leaving. I'm never watching again. Jesus. Anyways, Great White put a diss in the comment section, and he quickly deleted it because he misspelled the diss. What an idiot. Hey, look at that. We got M3 Sodi. Is access to building accessible to public from parking lot? Is there any reception desk?
Is access to building accessible to public from parking lot side? Is there any reception desk?
Yeah, but don't you think it's kind of weird to come in and like you're in the chat and you say, what relevance does any of this have right here? It has a ton of relevance. No, you are. Hey, Sleuthy Ruthie, you're rude as hell. Did you read your comment? See, Sleuthy Ruthie is probably a closet troll. I mean, look at these people. Why does any of this matter? Is that really what you say to somebody when they came on, they're spending time talking about something, and you type that in? Put a 1 if you think that's rude. Just type in, hey, why does any of this matter? Right in the middle of a show. Wow. You don't think that's rude, Sleuthy Ruthie? That's embarrassing that you would type that in. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's like the show isn't about you, Ruthie. We're just talking about something. If you don't like it here, I pay to watch you. I don't give a damn, Sleuthy Ruthie. Wow. So you pay to watch me so you can insult the show. Is that what you're telling me? We just heard somebody say something like that the other night. Was that you too? Jesus, what a... Oh, God. No need to argue. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Here we go. Where do these people come from? We're just sitting there talking about it, Sleuthy Ruthie. I don't care that you pay me. It doesn't... I'm not... hey, Gray, I'm paying you to insult you. What a joke. Yeah, I think it is actually really a valuable topic. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, do it again. There we go, Sleuthy Ruthie. Let's do it. This is what Sleuthy Ruthie wanted me to be. Hey, everybody! Yay! Jesus. All it needs is tambourines to smash together. Yeah, it is. It is rude. You said up there, why are you talking about this? Then your next one was, why does any of this matter? Why are you talking about this? Why does any of this matter? That's crazy. Who does that? There's a person doing a show. Hey, do this next time, Ruthie Sleuthy. Go to a comedy show and sit in the front row and go, hey, why are you doing these jokes? What does this have to do with anything? And see how that works for you. I'm sure they'll say the same thing. I just thought it was an interesting topic. I think we're on to what actually happened. All the conspiracy theories, the ricochets, and a weird shot from over here. I think it makes sense now. I'm not sure. Are you talking to me, Kenny? I haven't asked you a question all night. I don't know who you are, Kenny. Yeah, never seen you before in my life. I'm not sure who you're talking to or referring to. Oh, being her comment. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We thought this was an interesting topic, so we're talking about it. Why are you talking about this? The title of the video literally says it's a bullet. That says the bullet. Okay? But hey, Sleuthy, if you feel like if you pay to watch and you want to slap me around a little bit, yeah, go ahead. I don't know. When Charlie was shit, everyone looked to shot. You said shit. Everyone looked to their right, then ducked down. Well, not everyone. Some people look to their left, some people look to their right. Yeah, I've seen the other videos, so you're incorrect there. It was a debate. God. Man, I tell you what, out of all this stuff, KK, wasn't that, I think that's almost the thing that I watched that made me just so cringe about Kamala when she was sitting there going, it's a debate. It's a debate. You know, that's what you do in a debate. Yeah, but you were pretty, mean to Joe Biden. You actually called him a racist. It was a debate. It was a debate. God, she just kept saying it over and over again. And he kept trying to get something else, and she just kept saying the same thing. Repeated over and over it was just crazy. Anyway, it's okay, Ruthie Sleuthy. I'm sorry you didn't like the topic for tonight. Next time, send me your email, and I'll send you what my topics are for approval prior to me going live. All right? Yeah, you remember that thing? It was a debate. It was the answer with the guy that he's being canceled. Yeah, she wrote a book. I guess it's just horrendous. Like, she did, guess what? She didn't pick Buttigieg because he was gay and didn't want to have a woman and a gay person running. So, you know, the whole inclusive Democratic Party literally didn't pick her desired choice because he was gay. What is that? I mean, that is so ridiculous. My God, this party that's so like, oh, we're all inclusive, we're doing this and this. It's wild. I mean, what do gay people think of her saying that? I mean, that's disgusting. I know, but Ruthie, Sleuthy Ruthie, but why were you mean tonight? Why were you rude tonight? Can you answer that? I just don't understand it. Why would you say, why are we talking about this? And what value, what does it matter? I mean, what's the point of that? Are you trying to like derail the show? Or because it worked really well. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why you're making those comments. It was Sleuthy Ruth. Everybody else thinks it's rude other than you. It was rude. I don't know how else to tell you. If it wasn't rude, I wouldn't even have thought of anything of it. But it's like, I'm sitting here doing a show. And you're only removing the barrel. It's about a passage of time. Hey, at least I'm getting some laughs out of Zozo over there. It's been a while. Well, Sleuthy Ruthie is normally normal and polite here. I just don't know what she was doing tonight. It's almost like somebody took over her account or something. I don't know what happened. Yeah, we know. Yep. The gun was found assembled. He didn't assemble it. He left the screwdriver up above. That means he was carrying it with him. The reason it looks short was because it's hard to see the barrel in the grainy footage. So even if the towel is draped, it's literally coming, it could just be coming off the stock part and the barrel sticking out, but you can't see it because it's so thin. In some of the shots, his legs looked as thin as a barrel. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Nate. It was just a weird night. People just... Must be a full moon. Yeah, I thought it was a cool show, too. Yeah. But... Anyways, it's okay, Ruthie, Sleuthy. Don't worry about it. I don't know what... tomorrow's a whole different day. It's Thanksgiving dinner. Tomorrow's a different day. Okay, I know you don't think you did, Sleuthy Ruthie, but if you go read your comments, you'll probably think differently tomorrow. Okay. You said, why are we talking about this on my show? You have to take the bolt out, then turn rifle upside down, then take out the two. Yeah, we've seen the video. No, you don't need a wrench. You need a regular screwdriver, flathead. Two bolts come out. Unless you were talking to somebody else and you weren't actually talking to me. That's an absolute possibility, I guess. The Allen wrench would have been to fit the scope. Is anybody else talking about her? I haven't seen anybody. Well, I came back on later.
You still live? Pancakes emoji.
And by the way, I mean, nobody has to pay to watch my show. Like, if you're a member, you're just a member. You're supporting my channel. It's not like you can still watch it. I know you never do, Sleuthy Ruthie, but tonight you did. So can we just leave it at that? You did. You think it's kind to tell the host of a show, why are we talking about this? And then right after that said, what relevance does this have? It's almost like you're not hearing what I'm saying every single time. I don't really understand it. It's almost like it's just going in one ear, out the other, and you just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, okay. I knew you were talking about chat. I didn't see anybody, though. I've been reading the comments. Don't worry about it, though, Sleuthy Ruthie. Tomorrow will be a different day. It's okay. It's just, some days are better than others for people. But I don't want anybody else talking about Sleuthy Ruthie or anything. Yeah, I'm every single night, like somehow I said something that made Sandy Shirley upset earlier. She, took off, and I don't know what I was just goofing around. She said, "Oh yeah, Gray, that's not a," and I go, "Oh, come on, how would you know?" It was just like, it was just goofing around, It's like, how does anybody know any of that stuff? Like a Mauser, I mean, are we all just out there hunting with Mausers? But I could see how that could be. Okay, well, my feelings are hurt too, Sleuthy Ruthie, so I guess we're tied. Sorry your feelings are hurt. You made me feel bad too. I don't really have much more to say. Anyways, I just came on. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the bullet because I just had these thoughts right after the show, and I looked it up, and then it matched what the guy at Turning Point said, and I was like, okay, I think this is something that's valuable, especially, so there's like the elements are that the Mauser, the bullet, if it's been used a lot, the barrel has been fired a lot and it's old and kind of worn out. Over time, it could be a gun that's more prone to, having the bullet, keyhole or sort of rotate in the air. And so I looked that up, and it sounded like, yeah, it really is possible, especially on an older kind of, gun like that. I guess we'd have to know about what it was like. And then it turns out that, the bullet was found in his neck, and then we see it go into the front, and it looks like a pretty large hole. So that would explain that the hole's larger because it's sideways and went right in, boom, and then, so like everything makes sense. And that's why even Paramount Tactical or Tactical Paramount, geez, my brain just lost it. Yeah, he was saying it ricocheted and keyholed and went into the neck, which, sort of, but now it doesn't seem like that happened. So, now it explains everything. You see? The bullet would slow down quite a bit. So even though it still have enough energy to go through the neck, but it would have a lot of force because of it hitting a lot of surface area, and that's probably the shock wave that it got. Then it goes in and then stays inside the neck. Paramount Tactical, that's right. What did I say? I forgot what I said. I've said it right 47 times tonight, and then I just didn't say it right that time. I forgot what did I just say? Oh, thanks, Sazev. Yeah, Tactical Paramount. Yeah, Paramount Tactical. Hey, thanks, Gucci Flip Flops. I was super curious about this since the very start. Body
I was
armor
super
question,
curious
the
about
bullet,
this since the
impact,
very
etc.
start. Body armor question, the bullet impact, etc. Please keep talking about it. Pancakes emoji.
Well, you just well the whole show is about that, and I think I'm about ready to take off because I mean I've done 5 hours of live stream and 4 hours and 30 minutes of live streams, and you know it's been kind of a I'm still here. I don't know when you say slow-mo guys, I don't know what that means. Thanks, Sazaf.
Red heart emoji.
I have a loose flower. I don't have no idea what you're talking about. Be red. Type in a regular sentence. I can't even understand it. Also, what do you have to say for the slow-mo guys and their video about the 50 mg coming within a bullet's diameter of loose flowers and didn't disturb it? Oh, that one. Yeah. I actually remember that one. Yeah, well, it's different because the bullet just goes by. I'm talking about the shock wave of energy once there's impact. That's what I'm talking about. I guess the slow motion camera guys who have cameras that do 100,000 frames per second. Yeah, well, there's one that goes by flowers and it doesn't move it. I'm talking about when, you know, the shock wave from an impact, a bullet just flying by. I'm not sure what, you know, I mean, you know, when you're in battle and it zings by, you hear it go zing, but I don't think there's this wind, this huge force of wind that flies by you. You hear the little buzzing sound. Yeah. Thanks, says F. So you just got here, right? Gucci flip flops, but I probably have to take off now. So 12 o'clock my time. Hey, Tracer, why do you keep talking about that person? You're just causing problems, man. Alex Jones video on the flash and the stairs. He's an idiot. I mean, Alex Jones is just the same thing. There's never been anything that he's covered that hasn't been a conspiracy. Have you ever noticed that? He's like the king of conspiracy theorists. That's why, like, all of a sudden Candace likes him now. I think it might be 11 in the morning, my time. And I think if it's a tumbling bullet, that the shock wave, the impact wave, you know, like just boom, it even mentioned it earlier, would send out a lot larger range of energy. And that explains everything. You know how his neck got wider and his head got, like even his face got wider, and then this whole thing like moved the chest around a little bit. I think it just kind of explains everything. It's wild. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Let's see. High speed video of yawing bullet. Come on.
So we can see that rifling from the side. Mm-hmm. Whoa, that is so perfectly
Look
tracked.
at that. That's a normal.
Amazing.
That's the normal one.
Directly in the middle of the frame.
Oh my word. Oh, spinning there.
Yeah, look at that. That is the rifling.
Oh yeah, you can see it
Look at
spinning
that.
perfectly, and there's the
Crazy.
bow wave as well. You see the bow wave of the air. It looks like it's taking its time.
That's crazy. Actually have that on there. I don't know if they have one. Let's see. Tumbling. I don't know if they have one of those. That would be cool if they could actually get one of those, though. If you find one, let me know, but I didn't see one. That was cool seeing that little wave there behind it. But Sleuthy Ruthie, if you're out there, I'm sorry you felt bad. I felt the same way with your comments, so I guess we'll just call it a day, and tomorrow will be a new day. Like I said, it's like Thanksgiving dinner in here, you know? You argue sometimes, the next day everything's normal. Jesse Ventura at the time was crazy. After COVID, it made sense. Why? Alex Jones has obviously been right on things, but not too many. Not too many, man. Because I want to apologize to her, Tracer. It's my channel, okay? You have nothing to do with her. I do. Okay? You're just some rando person that shows up here. I don't know. I've never seen you in my life. Why aren't they going after the guys online that seem to know in advance? Well, how do you know they aren't? How do we know they're... I mean, the FBI was going to look into all those people. I'm sure they're doing stuff on the side. They've got to prove that there were people that knew that he was going to do it. Knowing that he did do it after the fact doesn't make anybody, you know, like a severe criminal. I mean, you could get the part where, you know, like you didn't turn him in. Maybe obstruction of justice of some sort, you know, or... You know, the slower speed now, though, does add in the chain being part of it. Okay, well, that's okay, Sleuthy Ruthie. Let's just both apologize and we'll be all right. I apologize to you. It's okay, no problems. There's still an investigation, you know. I mean, I like you, Ruthie Sleuthy. I've seen you every day in here. I always like you when you're in here and everything. So it's all the same. It's all good. It's all good. We all love Ruthie, Sleuthy Ruthie, but we don't. Every day isn't perfect. All right. The people who have watched it know. Know what? Oh, the Jesse Ventura episode. What's it about? How about you type that in? Because you said, watch the Jesse Ventura episode. He's got a million things out there. I think people are just saying the autopsy is out. That won't... Even if the autopsy comes out, you know what the conspiracy theorists will say? It's a cover-up. That's not what happened. So it's not even worth... It doesn't matter if the autopsy comes out. If the ballistics come out and it says the shot was fired from... let's see. What the hell? You know, from the rifle, right? Like it's literally fired from the rifle. And... that they're still going to say it's a cover-up. They made it look like that. So it's just, it doesn't matter. You know? It just doesn't matter at all. It's crazy. Well, let's see. It's Tyler Robinson's rifle. He had it. You know, he admits to it. You see him carrying it. And his DNA is on the trigger. The bullet matches his bullet, but it's a cover-up now. It's all... So it doesn't matter. That's how they keep things going. I mean, there was a guy that I watched yesterday. He was on... I forgot his name. It's just... You know, he looks like he was probably somebody that was in the military. And he's just going off. And there's no way he'll accept anything other than a conspiracy. So it's just going to go on and on and on and on and on. But I think that actually, because I got to tell you, I have watched, you know, I've been watching some bullets, you know, the fired bullets through gel and different shots and different things. And it was starting to make me go, that is weird. If there's no exit wound, how in the hell? That's just crazy. There's no exit wound. And then you see this bigger hole in the front. There's no exit wound. But you see it lurched back. So the bullet came in. You know it came from the guy up there. And then, so it's been sort of bugging me a little bit. You know, just like, yeah, you know, it's kind of strange. But now it's like, there it is. That actually explains that anomaly. I never questioned whether or not, once you can see the shooter on the roof up there, and then they have video of him running off the roof with the rifle, and then they find the rifle, and it's been fired, and you see the messages on the bullet. You know, I didn't never even question whether or not he's the one that fired the bullet. But there was that anomaly of how it went in. Now it kind of makes sense. A tumbling bullet, a lot of force when it hits because it's kind of sideways, makes a big hole on the entry. It doesn't exit because it doesn't have enough velocity while going through the neck. And I think that's going to be the answer. If they say that it went in spiraling, man, I'd be shocked. But it would be what it was, because they did find the bullet in his neck. And the bullet will match the gun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That he hit the neck and it was accidental. I think he was probably going for a headshot, and the bullet, because it slowed down so much, dived down and hit him in the neck. I think he was going for a headshot. In some ways, I guess that makes it better that it hit where it hit, because that would have been a absolutely just, you know, devastating. I don't know what it would do if it was tumbling, though. Well, they also said it might take a little bit for it to start tumbling. We just read all about that. If it's tumbling right out of the muzzle, it would just fly right out of the, you know, it might not go very far and just tumble and drop. Might not even hit a target. But if it starts doing it later, it can still be moving, but it would slow down a little bit, and it would still hit a target, but it wouldn't be right where you want it. And that's just my theory. If it's not that, it's not that. But it makes a hell of a lot more sense to me now. Everything, actually. But it also makes more sense with the necklace and everything, too. If it has a little slower speed coming in there, it doesn't break the necklace. It kind of hits it and knocks the shirt a little different. You know, whatever. But hey, Sleuthy Ruthie, have a good sleep out there, right? I don't want you to go to bed feeling like I don't like you. All right, I feel bad, but, you know, I was like, man, you didn't like my show. Military dudes saying armor bro. What? No, I don't think you had anything under that shirt, Damien. And I also don't think it deflected off of the armor. That'd be a crazy angle to go up that high, hits the armor and shoot at a 45-degree angle right into the... I guess we'll have to wait and see. I did ask that guy, I messaged him to see if he can answer that question. Why don't I go check Twitter? Maybe I miraculously got an answer. It doesn't look like it. Yeah. No, no answer. Yeah, you think the boyfriend would have said, what are you etching that for? But maybe he was trying to keep it secret and lied about it. Because remember he said he was going to keep it secret? So he lied about why he was etching. So, it's hard to say, really. Well, you can't say that he knew 1,000%. You can say you think he knew. That's just the truth, right? Right. But you can say, I guess you can say whatever you want. I'm just saying, you know, we don't know because we're not investigating it. You know what? I actually don't think the boyfriend knew that he was going to go kill Charlie Kirk that day. I do not think that. I think he might have known he didn't like him and he was going to the event. And that's why they were he was like, well, I thought they arrested somebody else. And he goes, nah, it was me, you know. So that's how I look at it. I think that absolutely they both hated Kirk. And he was going to the event. He was probably maybe worded like, I'm going to go argue with him. And then later, you know, he finds out that he's actually the one that killed. I don't know. You know, some of the if you believe that the whole email exchange is a hoax, then I could see what you're saying. But I actually think there's a good chance that it's a real messaging exchange, and then by using that as the foundation, then it seems like he didn't know. Yeah, it's, you know, whatever. Okay, look at, and then Sleuthy Ruthie doesn't say a word the whole time tonight, and then jumps in with, I think he knew. You seem like you're up to something there, Sleuthy Ruthie. Let's see. Will you stream during the service tomorrow? I think I might. Hopefully there's like a Facebook version or something. I can try to stream it. Oh, you've been crying, but you jump in with the, I think he knew. Okay. I don't know why you'd be crying. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Why wouldn't the boyfriend wonder why he had a gun at all? Hey, I feel good. I'm making Zozo laugh like the old days, man. I'm getting some LOLs from her. All right. Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Esther, that's just what I'm feeling. You know, if we're to believe the text exchange, you know, maybe there's some messages missing that they didn't show us. They just showed us the ones that mattered. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to look at it like that. Yeah, believe in Candace, Tucker, and Megan. Yeah, no thanks. I think they're all kind of crazy at this point. You know? I mean, Megan's okay, like most of the time. She's not really she's not conspiratorial, but she she's gotten a little bit like that with this whole Israel thing. Yeah, Candace is just, she's nuts. Yeah, well, maybe not Sleuthy Ruthie if, you know, it might be weird if the boyfriend didn't know, but it's hard to know. We don't know what they were like. You know, he said he wanted to go live to an old age without telling anybody. So he may have lied about it for a while and just said, yeah, I'm going to go up there for something. And that's why he would have known that he was in that town, you know, Orem. Because remember he said, I'm still in Orem, you know, like, he knew that Tyler was there, you know. I just, I don't know. I just don't think that he knew that he was going there to kill Tyler Robinson. And law enforcement didn't seem like they believed that either. They said, you know, at this time they're being really cooperative, and, you know, it just doesn't seem like, but, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. And who cares?
Here's a little something. My last.
I mean, I guess that's the thing.
On grade.
Hey, thanks, Mushy Mystic. That's okay. Hey, it was something though. Look at somebody sent me something, Mushy Mystic. Thank you. Right. You know what? Yeah, that's right. Candace is not going to be at the memorial. And she said that she doesn't want to go because there's a lot of government people there and she's scared to go. Bullshit. They didn't want you there. That's why you're not going. You're embarrassing the hell out of them is why. You know, you're trying to tell everybody that... I just watched this from 4 months ago. Charlie Kirk, this lady asked him, you know, was talking about Hamas and everything, and he absolutely defended Israel beautifully the whole time through, just absolutely crushed. He said all the stuff that I believe. I've seen it. I've said the same thing. They're like the only place over there that's normal Western. You feel absolutely safe walking around there. And that's just 4 months ago he was saying this stuff. And all of a sudden, he's like this huge conspiracy nutter on Israel. Bull crap, Candace. That's in your own brain. I think she's got sort of something wrong, you know? Like I don't know. I think it's odd that he's telling the boyfriend every single piece. Yeah, that part's, you know, I do think it's strange, but at the same time, isn't it weird? See, law enforcement probably verified stuff. They know when these text messages were. He's still there at the crime scene. He's there, right? So he's texting these things, and it's really what's happening. He probably felt alone and isolated and scared because his plan isn't working right, because now he can't go get that gun, and he's nervous about getting the gun. So now he's involving somebody he didn't want to because he's feeling alone and afraid and needs somebody to talk to, and he just sort of, you know. And then he starts sort of hashing out his plan with him in the conversation. You know, so they're working through the you know, he's talking about it like, oh, okay, I did this and this and this, and then eventually, oh, I can't get the gun. You know, hey, delete these messages. Blah 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 blah. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't know. The autopsies are usually never released this quick. Like never. I mean, you could ask anybody in here. I cover true crime. I mean, autopsies are almost never released this fast. It usually takes weeks. You know, they got to do this. Sometimes there's a preliminary report that might come out. And maybe they'll do something like that. I think the FBI will probably come out pretty soon and do another, like some kind of investigative press conference related. Who's they? Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what, I just, all of a sudden Zozo made me laugh because of her laughing earlier. Isn't that weird? I just started laughing because she was laughing earlier. But I was laughing at what she was laughing at. Let's see. If he was worried about fingerprints, he would have worried. But he didn't. He wasn't worried about fingerprints. He thought he had it all planned out. He was going to go get that gun. I mean, you know what? They didn't say they ever found any fingerprints. They found a palm print, which is probably pretty good if you can. Yeah, it's almost, that kind of reminds you, sort of like the Koberger case, had he not left the knife sheath with his DNA on it, if this guy had picked up the rifle and the towel and got away, how long would it have taken to find him, first of all? But I think the surveillance footage alone was enough. I mean, his parents knew who he was.
Israel loved him. Candace is crazy. She is probably getting paid by Qatar. Qatar emoji. Lol.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Hey, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I was saying, actually, the thing is the mom recognized him in the video, and they were able to track that individual up on the roof, all the way to the roof, from the tunnel, up the stairs, all the way to the roof, and so even if they didn't find the rifle, they had the shooter. They just would have had to go prove it. They would have tracked this guy down really quick, but would the parents have said anything? Like if the rifle wasn't found, would the parents have ever come forward on this case? It was only when, so let's say the rifle, well, I guess if the rifle was found, let's say the rifle was home and he goes, oh, well, here it is. Would the parents have said anything at that point? Because it was when he didn't produce the picture of the rifle that the dad called the police. And so why was that stuff in the messages? His dad saying, hey, I want a picture of the rifle. And that was in the messages. Well, I mean, why would you put that in there? Well, the towel, I think, was just mainly just to cover the weapon. Yeah, he didn't do a very good job. He wasn't going to get I mean, I guess he did a good job of what he was doing, if you want to call it good. I mean, he achieved what he was going there for, but the execution afterwards and before were terrible. It was like some gimmicky little, hey, if I wear shorts here, and then I wear a pair of pants here, that'll be enough, huh? And then I'll go over there, and it's stupid. I mean, it's like he didn't realize all of the cameras that are all over the place. Anyways, I gotta go to bed. So thanks everybody in here. Let's see, we got Cheryl, Alex gifted 5, very kind, and Daniel, then Daniel again. That was from, I think, the Israeli, right? Oh, that's him up there. Sure. That's the last one too. And then Mushy Mystic, Nate Campbell gifted 5. Then this account, and Jessica Schubach, William E, kind of William, sort of a William E type. Yeah. Here's a big hug, Sleuthy Ruthie. Here we go. Ooh, yeah. There you go. No problem, no problem. Mushy Mystic, Nate Campbell, Mushy Mystic, Meg Z, CS Punisher, Esther M, Your Latex Spouse. M3SOTI. Gucci Flip Flops. 2 in a row there. Then Suz F, Mushy Mystic, and Daniel. Here's one for you. Here we go. That's a sound effect. Listen. Let's see. Yeah, he changed clothes. He did he say that? He didn't change clothes on the roof. He changed it in the woods. They didn't know where he changed clothes, and he obviously didn't change clothes on the roof because you see him. Let's see. Was in the line. No, he didn't change on the roof. Yeah. I mean, he was wearing the same clothing on the roof as he was wearing walking around, so I wouldn't think that. But who knows, man? Maybe he had like 3 sets of clothes in that backpack. You said those backpacks, Gray. He only had one, you bastard. Let me tell you. Gray only had one. Gray only had one. Gray only had one. Gray only had one backpack. Gray only had one backpack. You said backpacks. You put an S on the other with a backpack. Gray, it's only backpack. Right, there you go. Yeah, you want to know something, guys? I think I'm the most scrutinized true crime YouTuber that there is. If I make one error, everybody jumps on it. But the conspiracy theorists, their entire show is an error. And they don't say a damn thing. They just let it go. Not a questions asked. Nothing challenging. Nothing. You ever notice that? But if I mispronounce the name of a town, they're on my ass. These guys say a UFO did it, and they go, wow, that's interesting. You don't think he planned on stashing it? Who? Oh, yeah, I did. I think he did plan on stashing it. I think he planned to go back with his jeans on and stuff it down his pants again at night and then go to his car. That's what I think. I think he was going to get that weapon out of the woods at night. Or, maybe, because if he put the jeans on, he had the jeans on at Dairy Queen. So I think he was going to still stuff it down his pants, have a different shirt color, and walk with maybe the backpack on again. All right, you guys. I think I thanked everybody already. Also, we did have the hell was it? Oh yeah, we had a well, that was earlier though. The PayPals from the earlier show. No, wait, I think the 2 on this one. So Ivo and Stephanie, thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. I thought that was an interesting topic. As I wink at Sleuthy Ruthie. I'm just kidding. But come on, you gotta admit, man, that was pretty cool. I think that is the answer. All right. It was an older weapon. Probably barrel was worn out. The bullet was tumbling in the air. It hits right in the neck, right? And then because of the lower velocity and the surface area that the bullet's hitting, when it goes inside, it dramatically slows down and is stopped by the vertebrae in Charlie Kirk's neck, and it stays right there, and it just explains everything. And I think that's going to be the answer. So there you go. There you have it, everybody. If it's not that, then we tried. That's my best guess, my best attempt at an answer that I can come up with. The thing that makes the most sense, instead of coming up with convoluted ricochets all over the place, different angle, you know, things like that. A ricochet, I get the breastplate ricochet. Sounds like there isn't a breastplate. In the absence of a breastplate, the shot is what was tumbling. Right out of, you know, on the path that the bullet was on. All right. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching tonight. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll try to come on and we'll see what's going on with streaming. Like if it's on Facebook or something or somewhere where I can, you know, maybe it's on, I'm sure it'll be on Rumble, right? Maybe I could pull it up on Rumble and we could try to stream it or something. I don't know. I'm sure they probably wouldn't care. They want that message out everywhere. Anyways, hope you guys liked the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And guess what? As I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4.
Huh?
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
Yeah, it's Halloween coming up, everybody. Halloween.
Try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector. Here's my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm
always gonna be a protector, food up, collector, interceptor, and a needle and a spectre with a vector
on his
vector.
With all respect,
Yo.
just remember I've a temple fucking check. How accurate? I have no agenda. 99%. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send you
on a mission to reveal the truth, Linda. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
Hey, Gray, I thought that was a really interesting show. I particularly liked the part with...
What do you mean, particularly? Try to say it better.
Particularly like the part...
Very good, Mary Lou. The way you pronounce particularly.
Jeez, Gray, I try so hard and you're making fun of the way I said it.
Oh my God, did you hear how upset Mary Lou was? My God.
I'm not upset at all, Gray. Gray.
Oh my God, I can't do it. I can't talk to Mary Lou tonight. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Now, somebody asked up there, Kenny said, how accurate is it? How accurate is what? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow, all right? Be safe out there.